Good day, beautiful people. Welcome to this very special training on the Billion Dollar Mind Generational Wealth Donation Plan. Now, the focus of this training is to give you the big picture. By the way, if you are new to our trainings, we'd like to start our trainings off with something nice and picturesque, designed to get you to dream again. And because we're going to talk about our financial model, we certainly want you to take those dreams off the shelf and blow off the dust. Okay, so the focus of today's training is to give you the big picture view of our model and why we deeply feel it is the best model in this industry. You will discover that if you're looking to generate a few extra hundreds of dollars per month, you can do that with Billion Dollar Mind. If you're looking to generate a few thousands of dollars, a few extra thousands of dollars per month, you can do that with Billion Dollar Mind. However, our vision at Billion Dollar Mind, BDM, is for this platform to be a catalyst for you developing generational wealth. If money offends you, I'm going to tick you off. So, listen, friends, hopefully you've enjoyed your quick mental vacation break. We've been in the Maldives. Let's go to work. Again, welcome to this Billion Dollar Mind BDM training. Listen, before we get into the financial model, let's share our unique value proposition, our UVP. BDM is about significant and lasting transformation in the areas that are most important to us. So, whether that is transformation in our relationships, in our health, and yes, the purpose of this training, our finances. We want to transform from being a caterpillar that's often times it's the prey to a butterfly, and that's a little better. But we want to be that soaring eagle. This is where we soar above things like negative thoughts and emotions. You've probably heard it said, as we think in our heart, so are we. So, yes, we're going to show you what I believe is the most powerful financial model in the industry. But whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You see, what we think about expands and creates, whether that's creating what we desire or not. What we think about expands and creates. So at Billion Dollar Mind, we're going to work so much on our thinking. So, how do we invoke this type of transformation? We do it by applying universal laws, eternal truths. And there are four pillars that we are going to focus on. We call it the four pillars of faith. They are gratitude or great altitude. You've probably heard it said that our attitude will determine our altitude. And so, gratitude, gratefulness, being full of greatness, affection, giving, acknowledgement, admiration, gratitude, the first pillar. Second pillar is vision, right? The vision, make it plain. Without vision, people are unsuccessful. So, by applying pillar number two, vision, this is where we get to become the architects of our lives. This is where we get to map out the blueprint, the life, the relationships, the things that we want to obtain, and the people that we want to become. We get to design our lives and be the creator of our destinies. Number three, secret sauce here. Secret sauce. This is where we spend time every single day feeling what it will be like once our vision has come to fruition, and then affirmations, affirming, calling those things that are not as though they are. Okay, so we are a personal transformation platform, and the catalyst for our transformation are the four pillars of faith. Okay, so now as we get into the model, and keep in mind, this is a big picture training. Now, there's going to be some elements of the compensation model that we're going to break down in other modules to really dig into those. This is a big picture. Years ago, the developer of Billion Dollar Mind was introduced to Bitcoin when Bitcoin was going for just 5 cents, a nickel. Okay. And the The person that introduced him said, look, just get $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and just sit on it. So if he had gotten $1,000 worth of Bitcoin when Bitcoin was going for 5 cents, that would have been 20,000 Bitcoin. He didn't do it. Okay. All right. Now, as I pulled this chart, Bitcoin was going for $66,444.92. Remember, he found out about Bitcoin when it was 5 cents. Had he bought it at 5 cents, $1,000 worth would have been 20,000 Bitcoin, and that would be worth times $66,444.92. That would have been worth 1.3, almost 1.329 billion with a B. Now listen, Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Bitcoin is likely going to go much higher in value from the 66,000 in time. It's likely that the biggest gains in Bitcoin have already happened. I mean, look, if Bitcoin goes to 132, 133,000, that would be a doubling effect. Well, going from 5 cents to 66,000, gosh, what's the return on that? Now, for our donation plan, we're going to use another cryptocurrency asset. And don't worry if you don't know anything about cryptocurrency or if you're new to the cryptocurrency space, we're going to guide you through all of this, okay? All right, again, this is big picture today. All right, so cryptocurrency asset that we're going to leverage is going to be an asset called Flare. Now, one of the reasons is because Flare right now is only going for about 2 cents. Actually, as of this recording, it's a little less than 2 cents. But some pundits are suggesting that Flare could ultimately go to $40,000 a Flare. Now, folks, I'm not going to suggest that it's going to go to 40,000 a Flare. All right. But this is the big picture. We want our community members, those that are leveraging $billion Mind, to ultimately accumulate millions of Flare. 5 to 10 million is our vision. Because even if you currently suck at marketing, we're going to share with you how to unsuck, okay, at marketing. And then we're going to leverage those 4 pillars of faith that we talked about. Okay, so now, if you had 5 million Flare in time, and this is after you've converted Flare into usable, spendable cash. So we know that many people are going to want some revenue now, right? You want some surpluses now. You want some payouts now. Whereas a kid, my favorite candy was called Now Laters. Now and later. So we want you empowered to be able to have some revenue or some surpluses now while still accumulating for the future. So after you have converted from Flare to usable, spendable cash, we want you to have no less than 5 million to 10 million Flare. Now, if you came off the street and you bought 5 million Flare at 2 cents, that would only be $100,000. Uh-oh, what's the problem with that? Okay, you see, most people can't do that. So that's why I want you to pay very close attention as we go into the model. Now, also with that said, let's say that you do have in time 5 million Flare. And Flare does not get to 40,000, but it gets to $1 a Flare. Well, now maybe you've got a good retirement. Depending on where you are in the world, this could be generational wealth. Let's say that Flare does not get to 40,000, but it gets to $4. But you've got 5 million Flare. Okay. Now you're talking about maybe, perhaps, potentially, all of my disclaimers, generational wealth. And remember, our developer could have been a billionaire. And by the way, he was actually owner of a home business enterprise that was valued at just under $1 billion. So we might want to pay attention to him. Okay. All right. So now you've got the big picture here. So the big picture, 5 to 10 million Flare. Flare gets to $1, 5 to 10 million in value. Flare gets to $4, 20 to 40 million in value. And you can do the numbers from there. Okay, let's go to work. Okay, so let's give you some highlights. There's no monthly subscriptions. This is a donation plan. Okay, it's going to take advantage of another universal law. We reap what we sow. And that universal law really has three components. We reap what we sow. We've got to sow to reap, but we reap more than what we sow. So there's low, there's medium, and there are high ticket donation packages, which means there will be low, medium, and high ticket payouts. Now, one of the beautiful parts of our model is that the overwhelming majority of what comes in from donations goes right back out. And it goes out to just one person. So there is an 80% payout on every single donation package. Now, why is this important? Because one of the challenges in this make money from home space, this make money online niche, is that most companies can't afford to pay out 80%. Why? Because there's a physical product, and that's got to be accounted for first. All right. And so usually companies in this industry, and I know I've been a part owner of a company in this industry that actually helped write multiple compensation plans for companies in this industry. Most companies are going to pay out somewhere between 35 to 50% of whatever the revenue is, and then it's going to be further diluted. So if you have a model where 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people are paid out when that product or that service moves, when there is a transaction, then the lower payout, 35 to 50% in most cases with most companies, is diluted with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people getting a little piece of the pie. And that makes it very difficult for my Joe and my Sue average that maybe right now are not the best at marketing. You're going to see just how big this is in a few moments. Now, this is going to be a big one. No loss payouts. I'm going to share some of that in this module. We'll likely do a more detailed module so you really get that, as well as no loss referrals. Again, I will hit that in this module. There will likely be another module that will get into that even deeper. And no manipulation. Once again, I'll share it in this module. We'll likely have another module that gets into that even deeper. Unlimited width and unlimited depth payouts. That's powerful. We've got single payouts ranging between $8 and $16,000. Now be mindful when as I'm going through this training, I'm saying dollars, I may say bucks, but it's all in Flare. So $8 to $16,000 in Flare. And then we'll make sure you understand that when you receive your payout in Flare, how to convert that into usable, spendable cash. In total, there is the potential, maybe perhaps all of my disclaimers, of you generating just under $50,000 for every person that's connected to you as you go up the donation ladder yourself and as someone that you may refer goes up the donation ladder. And this is really key. Payouts available upon demand. Someone does a donation, they're connected to you. You may also hear me say coded. You may hear me say coded to you. So someone does a donation, they're connected or coded, that means the same, to you, and that goes to your withdrawable balance. You simply click a button and you can now receive that. And you can now receive that withdrawable payout right to your own cryptocurrency wallet. Your wallet is essentially going to be your crypto bank. And so you don't have to wait until the end of the week. You don't have to wait until the 15th of next month, or you don't have to wait for whenever. Okay. The moment that payout shows up in your withdrawable wallet, you can withdraw. Okay. So let's take a look at the donation plans. So we've got 12 donation plans. Plan 10 is a $10 donation. And so notice that the payout on that is $8, 80%. Plan 50 is a $50 donation. The payout on that is 80% or $40. Let's go to Plan 1000. That's a $1,000 donation, 800, 80%. Plan 5000, 80%, 4,000. Plan 10,000, 80%, 8,000. You get the point. Plan 20,000, 80%, $16,000 payout. So here's a few things you want to know. When you donate to a plan, that qualifies you to withdraw when someone else coded to you in that plan, when someone coded to you donates to that plan. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are qualified for plan 2500. All right. Now remember, we reap what we sow. Got to sow to reap, but when we reap more than what we sow. Okay. So you made a 2500 donation. Okay. And that 2000 paid up, So whoever you were coded to in the plan 2500, they got the 2000. Okay. Now you're qualified for plan 2500 with withdrawable payout. So when someone coded to you donates to plan 2500, guess what? This 2000 will be withdrawable. So when you withdraw that 2000, it's going to be withdrawn in Flare. And again, we'll make sure you know how to convert that into usable, spendable cash. But remember, we want now laters. Okay. We want to use some now for whatever you have to use it for. But ultimately, you want to be able to accumulate Flare over time because we don't anticipate it's going to stay at 2 cents. Okay. One of the biggest attractions to our model is the fact that we have no loss payouts. Now, what do I mean by that? All right. So in this example, you've done plan 2500. Now, right now, you came off the street, you determined your budget. And that's really what you want to do. What is your budget for this enterprise that you're leveraging so that you can generate plenty of surplus for now and plenty for later? What's your budget? Okay. And be mindful, the speed of the leader is the speed of the group. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to generate several thousands of dollars a month, this is what I believe your sweet spot is. Now, obviously, does everybody have those resources? Certainly not. So again, don't hurt your family. Number one, don't hurt your family. Don't borrow money for this kind of stuff. All right. But you do want to start off with the largest plan that makes sense for your family. Okay. All right. So in this event, you started off with 2,500. But you had someone that came aboard and they're coded to you and they did plan 5,000. Now say this with me. No loss payouts. Say it with me. No loss payouts. Now, usually what would happen, there's this $4,000 payout, but you are not qualified yet for plan 5,000. With most companies, you would lose that 4,000. That would be gone. And normally what would happen is that would go up to whoever is in your leadership line that is qualified. And if there's nobody in your leadership line that's qualified, then that would go to the company. That would be called breakage. Not here. Okay? If you get nothing else from our compensation model, I want you to get this. Okay? What would happen here is this 4,000, while it is not withdrawable. Why is it not withdrawable? Because you're not qualified yet. It does not go away. This is going to go in your bank or on hold. All right. And I know that's ugly. Okay. On hold. So that's number one. All right. You haven't lost it. Number two, this 4,000 that's on hold or in your bank is now going to go to qualify you for plans that you're not qualified for. So right now you came off the street with your $2,500 budget in Flare. You didn't do the 10, 50, 100, 250 or what have you. So you're not qualified to withdraw if someone came with a smaller plan than you. However, it goes into your bank. Now, in this example, someone did higher than you. It went into your bank, 4,000. And so now it's going to take care of your plan 10. That's 10 of the 4,000. Your plan 50, your plan 100, your plan 250, your plan 500, your plan 1,000. Now you're qualified for all of those and you still have plenty left. So real quickly, 1,000 and 500 is 1,500 and 250 is 1,750 and 100 is 1,850 and 50 is 1,900 and 10 is 1,910. So the 1,910 would be deducted from your bank and it would now go to qualify you for those spots that you were not qualified for because you did not donate to those plans yet. Why? Because you came off the street and you determined what your top donation would be. Remember, the speed of the leader is the speed of the group. If you have the resources to do 2,500 and you opt to just do 10, well, that's the seed that you're sowing, and that's likely going to be the harvest that you reap. If you want to generate a few thousands of dollars per month and you've got the resources to do plan 2,500 or plan 5,000 or what have you, then that's what you want to do. So in this example, $4,000 that normally would have been gone in most models because you weren't qualified for the plan 5,000, you didn't lose it. It went to qualify those spots that were not already qualified. And then the remaining amount, I think it was $1,910. So that should leave something like $2,090 stays in your holding tank, stays in your bank. Okay. So let's say you even had someone that came aboard, and it might have been the same person that came and they did the plan 10,000 and they're coded to you. Okay. Well, that $8,000, are you qualified for it yet? No, you're not qualified for it yet. Do you lose it? No. What happens? It goes into your bank, goes into your holding. All right. And then what is it going to do? It's going to go to get you qualified. So in this case, you already qualified for the 10, the 50, the 100, the 250, the 500, the 1,000, the 2,500 because you came off the street doing that. You had $2,010 still in your bank. So this $8,000 is now added to your bank. Now you've got a bank of 10,000 and some change. It's going to now qualify you for plan 5,000. So now let's say somebody else now comes and does plan 5,000 with you. Guess what? You're now qualified for that payout to be withdrawable. Okay? All right. So I want you to get that. I want you to get that. Say it with me. No loss payouts. Okay. Okay, beautiful people. At the beginning of this module, we shared that we would likely come back and do a number of modules so you can really get just how amazing this model is. And so we're going to do that. This is going to be module number 1. And what we've done in this particular module, we've talked about our unique value proposition. We've talked about the asset that we're going to use, Flare. The right now is actually under 2 cents as I'm doing this particular module, but they're saying it could get to $40,000 of Flare. Now, folks, I don't know if it will get anywhere close to that, but our vision at BDM is for you to ultimately accumulate 5 to 10 million Flare. Flare goes to $1. That's $5 to $10 million worth of value. Flare goes to $4, not 4,000. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking generational wealth. Now, in this module, we've covered that we have no monthly subscriptions. We've covered the low, medium, and high ticket donation packages and payouts. So you saw packages for $10 all the way up through $20,000. We saw 80% payouts. And again, I don't remember seeing this anywhere else in this industry over 30 years and having made millions in this industry. No loss payouts. Now listen, we've got more that we're going to share. We're going to do that over modules. What I want you to do now, because some of you, you've heard enough to know you want to be a part of this. So you may be seeing this in what we call our portal, in which case you'll go over to where it says getting started so that you can get started with us. Or maybe you're seeing this outside of our portal, in which case whoever sent this content to you, reconnect with them, get their referral link, go on and get registered. And remember, this entire model is predicated upon the law of the harvest, upon the law of sowing and reaping. We reap what we sow. We have to sow to reap, but we will reap so much more than what we sow. So what does that mean? You want to get started with a donation plan that makes the most sense for you and your family. For those saying that you want to make a few extra thousands of dollars a month, the sweet spot is plan 2,500. Now, we know not everybody has 2,500, and many of you have a lot more. But plan 2,500 is what we believe the sweet spot to be. The point is, with the law of the harvest, you want to get started at the highest plan that makes sense for your family. Why? Because that's a seed. Because ultimately, you want folks, as they join your referral network, to start off with the highest plan that makes most sense for them. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's going to start off at plan 2500. There's going to be those that start off at plan 10, and that's what makes most sense for them because maybe they don't have a lot of resources, and that's okay. Just like there's going to be folks, and I'll show you in another module, a gentleman who said, "Hey, I've got a 14,000 plus budget." So he started off with plan 10,000. Didn't quite have the resources for plan 15,000, so he did plan 10,000, plan 2,500, plan 1,000, plan 500. He came off the street with that. But the person that referred him has also understood the law of the harvest. Okay? All right. So here's what we're going to do. If you're in our portal and you have enough information right now to go on and get started, then go to the Getting Started tab. If you're outside of our portal, you've got enough information right now to get started, then connect with the person that got this content to you and get started with them. And remember, don't ever hurt yourself. Don't borrow money to do this or anything else in the home business arena, but do start off with the largest plan that makes sense for you and your family. The law of the harvest. Now, with our other modules, we're going to cover no loss referrals. That is just as important as no loss payouts. We're going to cover no manipulation. So listen, you can go on and either get started with us right now and then come back and watch the remaining training modules or whatever works best for you. With that being said, we're going to see you on our next training module. We love each and every one of you. Let's transform this world together, starting with yours.